Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Freedom. On this show, I'm really blessed to have amazing people who are doing some amazing work in their country, in their communities. I feel blessed to have people who are really making a change in this world. Today, I have a very special guest. He's from Cameroon. They've just hosted a very amazing tournament, and we soccer fans, we enjoyed. So today I have a very special guest. He's a pastor. He's a consultant. He's also an author. Mr. Silas, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Freedom. Thank you. It's an honor to be here and to get to know you and to get to share with your audience.
You're welcome. For those people who don't know who Silas is, please give us a little bit of background of yourself and what you do.
Okay. For me, I'll just I like to describe myself like I'm a husband, first of all. I'm a pastor, kind of an unconventional one, because sometimes people always ask me, are you a pastor? Are you a businessman? Are you a pastor? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a pastor? But I'm a pastor.
Okay.
And also an author. I've actually written and published 2 books. Yeah. And I have a couple of others that are still in the works. I'm also a consultant, business and leadership consultant. I do help individuals and organizations to improve their leadership in their businesses. So that's me in summary.
Okay, that's good. You told us that you are a husband, you are a business person, you're doing a lot. How do you juggle everything? This is the question which I ask most people who I was on the show, that is there such thing called work and life balance?
Interesting question. Well, yeah, I'll actually say no.
Okay.
That you just have one.
Yeah.
And you just have your life that just manifests in different places. So there's a life at work, there's a life at home, there's a life in church as a pastor. I mean, your life is everywhere. You just need to know which is priority at any point in time. So trying to balance the two always look like one is a bit challenging to balance the two in this. If you look at one like a problem and the other like a solution, it's more like we are in this. It's like a symphony, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be all. I can't just be all about being home and just being the family man.
Yeah.
I also have to be about going out there doing work and accomplishing purpose. And at the same time, I have to attend to people who get to me, who need my consultancy and all of that. So, and then I also have to write as an author. So sometimes I have seasons. There are seasons where it's just writing. I just focus on writing and I'm not doing much. And then after that, I move from that season and maybe I do some other stuff. So the balance just for me comes in seasons. So there are seasons where I might be focused on one area very intensely. And then there are other seasons where I might tone it down a bit and then focus on something else. But overall, I'm doing all of those things at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. What's the definition of success? How do you define success?
I think my definition of success is just being the fullest version of who you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
for me, being the total expression of who you are. That's all.
Okay, that's great. Tell us more about your journey as a pastor. When did it all start?
Oh, when was that? It's about 20 years ago. I think it's around 2010 or so. Funny enough, when I became a Christian, when I became born again, I always loved to be a business person, entrepreneur.
Okay.
And so But I kept having this nudge that I'm supposed to be a pastor, but I just never did embrace it. So, because I had a certain, but with time, I came to discover that it was not really about not me not being a pastor or being a pastor. It was just because on my journey, my own spiritual journey, I came to realize that we are called to be pastors in many ways.
Yeah.
So, a doctor who is taking care of a patient is a pastor.
Very true.
He's just operating in a different domain, because a pastor is basically a shepherd. Is somebody who cares for God's sheep, and God has sheep in different domains. God has people in different domains that need to be pastored, that need to be cared for. So sometimes being called a pastor does not necessarily mean that you are a preacher behind the pulpit. It just means that you're bringing that pastoral role into the domain that God has called you to be. And sometimes God might call you to operate within a church family as a pastor of a church, a congregation, or God might still want you to pastor, but not in a congregation, but He wants you to pastor a group of people, maybe in your job, in your office, you're a CEO, you're also a pastor because you're dealing with people. That's actually where my whole ministry as a pastor focused on. And I actually wrote a book about that called Marketplace Shift, which talks about taking ministry into the marketplace. So my journey as a pastor it was really been me just rediscovering what it really means to be a minister of the gospel in all spheres of life.
Yeah.
So in my journey, I get to realize that yes, I'm called a pastor, but I'm not called. My pastoring is about pastoring people in the workplace, pastoring people in the marketplace, pastoring people in business. So just like you asked me, how do I blend being all those things, a consultant, a pastor, and author? Actually, for me, it's one and the same thing, because I'm just carrying the same thing, but showing up in different places, doing the same thing. Yes. So when I show up in business, I'm still a pastor. It's just that I'm doing it now like a consultant. When I show up at home, I'm still a pastor. It's just that I'm doing it like a husband. As a pastor, I write to inspire and to educate people. So it's just that's really who I am. So I actually wrote a whole book on that subject. It's called Marketplace Shift, and it's about helping Christians discover that they can be ministers wherever they are, in your job site, in your business, in your home, in your school, wherever you are. They are pastors in all of those domains in life. You have a pastor in business, you have a pastor in government, you have a pastor in politics, you have a pastor in music. We are all pastors in different domains. So when God says you're a pastor, it doesn't mean to go and open a congregation somewhere, go and start a church. It just means minister as a pastor wherever He leads you and calls you to be. That's the way I see it, and that's been my journey. It has been a very funny journey, because many times it's difficult. People like, you're a pastor, but I feel I'm not even open a church. Like I'm not going to open a church. Being a pastor does not mean I'm going to open a church. I'm a pastor. Yeah, I serve in my church here. Look at my church here in Cameroon, in Boya, as we run a school, a ministry school. So I'm the administrator of the school.
Yeah.
I also serve as the PR director of the school, and as a pastor, I teach from time to time. I minister and all of that, but that's because I'm part of a team. But what makes me a pastor is not because I went and opened my own church somewhere. No, I also I've not been. I've never called me to church somewhere.
Because that's what we think. Every time we hear someone saying he's a pastor or she's a pastor, we all thinking about church, all about thinking about.
That's it. Most people, when you hear pastor, so where's your church? You think you are the senior pastor for one church somewhere. No, I'm not that. That's not the definition of a pastor.
That's
a pastor is not someone who owns the church. A pastor is someone with a heart of a pastor. Who shepherds people, who cares for their soul. You don't need to start a church to do that. You can do that as a businessman. You can do that as a doctor. You can do that as a journalist. You can do that in any profession. There is need for pastors.
I didn't know that. I really didn't.
Yeah.
What's your definition of a well-lived life?
I think a well-lived life will be almost the same thing I say when I talk about what definition of success.
Yeah.
Because a well-lived life is for me, it's a successful life. And but that also brings the question, what is success? And for me, success again is just living, being the truest expression of who you are.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. So a well-lived life is a life where you live to the fullest of who you are.
Yeah.
In every domain that you're called to be. Yeah. Your full identity was manifested. You basically you're you. A well-lived life is a life where you were fully, in this world, we have a challenge because many people are not themselves. They are trying to be any other person.
True.
So people spend the bulk of their life trying to be someone else.
Yeah.
Trying to impress people, trying to make people feel like they too matter. And then in the end, they realize that it was all a facade because nobody really cared. You see, nobody really cared. And the moment you're gone, you're gone. But what really matters is, were you true to yourself? Were you true to the core of who you were? Even if that didn't, even if that wasn't the most fancy thing that the world celebrated, but it was who you are. It was the true expression of who you were.
Yeah, true.
That's the one. Yeah. So to some, the true expression of themselves manifested in different ways, right? Did you dance the dance you also were so passionate about, or you were so concerned about? No, dance was very important. Or did you love the people that you really wanted to love? Did you spend time with them? And did you do all those things? There's a saying that most people on their dying bed never wish they spend more time at work, never wish they made more money, never wish they had more trophies. Most times they always wish they were just there for the people that matter to them. Most times they just wish they live the things that were really passionate in their heart. They just wish they really were they were true to themselves. Yeah. So for me, that's a well-lived life. And we live in a world, especially in this social media generation. You get up in the morning, by the time you go on Facebook, you're seeing all kinds of things screaming at you. Oh, you see this, your friend that is doing this wonderful thing. Like, oh, this my friend is going ahead of me. I need to catch up. Oh, you see this one doing this. The competition just takes you crazy. And then, but you woke up in the morning, you had a simple desire in your heart. Maybe just to go out there and love on somebody or do something that you really cared about. That had nothing to do with whatever is trending. They did not do it. You got carried away with the trend. And then the trend becomes your obsession. And then pretty soon you forget yourself and you realize that that's not you. You are not defined by trends. You're defined by your passion, by your true self. Yeah. And those things may necessarily be what is trending.
Wow, that's so amazing. How do one switch? How do one stay focused in their day? How do one does that? Because there's too much noise, like you said, there's too much noise going on. How do one stay focused and be like, I don't care what's trending, I don't care what's going on, I really need to do me, to be me, and just continue to grow? How do one do that?
I think for you want to do that, there's one principle I think you must understand.
Yeah.
Most times we want to get clarity by looking outward, but you get clarity by looking inward.
Oh.
So what that means is, for example, let me use my example. Sometimes I always feel like, if I want to really know what I want to be doing, I need to spend time studying everything else, looking everywhere, trying to study the vast amount of things happening to know where I belong.
Yeah.
But actually, it's the opposite. You need to quiet yourself and look deep within and discover who you are from the inside. And then bring really alive, because the world needs people who are truly themselves.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so that's one way of doing that, is to deal with the noise. Is always, when you want to make that choice, always shut down the noise. Yeah. So to shut down the noise, okay, yeah, everything is trending, but I want to get to me now. So for me to get to me, I need to shut down everything else that's external and then look inside. And there are practical ways in which I do that. Like a pastor or like a Christian, I'll spend time to pray, I'll spend time to meditate, I'll spend time to journal. So I might get up in the morning, put on some nice worship or soaking music. I'm not listening to anything outside. I started journaling. I started writing down like, what is really what am I really called to do? What do I really want? You see,
Yeah.
and I write those things down, and those things become my markers. As I
Oh,
go through life, anything that does not fit in that stuff that I got in my quiet place, I know that that's not me. You see, it might be nice, it might be trending, it might be wonderful, but that wasn't the thing that came to me when I was in my own quiet place.
yeah.
So that's a potential distraction. Yeah, and it's not something that you do once. It's something that you have to keep doing because life is always pulling you. Like, I mean, that's my journey. I'll go back sometime, look at my journal, and I'm like, oh, these are the things I really wanted to do a few years ago. But look at where I am now. Okay, I've done some of the things, but I think I've drifted a bit. I'm going in this direction. And I can see what happened when I started looking left, right, and seeing what A, B, and C is doing. I started picking things from adding to what I was doing before I realized it. Oh, I'm off. I'm not doing somebody else.
Oh.
Then I have to go at my journal again. Like, okay, what was the thing? I was in my quiet time with God. What was he really telling me that this is what I should be doing? I go back and look at it and I say, okay, fine. For instance, as a consultant, I admire fellow people who are into consulting, who coach, who train. And sometimes I'm like, wow, these guys are so amazing. Can I just have their tools? Can I just have their ways, their materials so that I can use it when I'm using my client?
Yeah.
But each time I do that, I become very ineffective.
Oh, really?
Because I'm like, oh, this is not me. This is somebody else's stuff. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it's not me. So I have to go back and I say, okay, I have my own processes. I have my own things that I use when I want to talk to when I want to help the client move from point A to point B. It doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. It's just my way of doing it. And it works quite well. Sometimes I have to go back and I say, okay, I have these steps, these procedures that I use when I want to help the client gain clarity. I want to help them set their goals. I want to help them assemble your team. That's just my way of helping you do it. And if it works for you, then it's fine. It doesn't have to work for everybody. Yeah. And I think that's one key thing. Know that your message, you have a message to the world, but that message is not for everybody. Find your tribe, find your audience, find those who resonate with you and serve them, and you'll be happy.
You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm actually inspired right now.
Yeah. So that's really how you quiet noise. It's knowing that number one, you're a unique person. Number two, you have something you need to give out. And it's not everybody that is for. There's an audience that is just waiting for you. And just because you're not good trending, it doesn't mean that what you have is not valuable. Your goal is not to trend. The goal is to have somebody. See, I mean, watching the African Nations Cup for the past few weeks has been totally entertaining. It has been amazing to see how trends were rising and falling throughout the tournament. You see, So at the beginning, this country, Nigeria had the favorite, this had the favorite. Then within the first group stage, they're out. I'm like, they were trending at the beginning, now they're out. Now who's the next? And then before long, we said, now Cameroon, it seems that they are going to win this thing, and then they're out. And then Egypt comes to the final, everybody thinking now, and then they're out. Like, who is really trending at the end of the day? Everything is just going up and down. So, and then here's a funny thing. I saw loyalty changing. You see, the next one, I mean, Cameroonians were very happy with the team at some point, and then when they lost to Egypt with those penalties, the anger, the frustration. People were so mad. They were thinking of doing terrible things. Like, these are the people that were loyal to you. They were calling all kinds of wonderful names. They were praising the players. When they missed the penalties, they almost killed them. And they came to the semi-finals. We were playing the football match, and then Burkina Faso just mesmerized us in the first half of the game. Scored 2 goals. Came to the second half, scored a 3rd goal, and people were leaving the stadium. I mean, people left the stadium. They were so disappointed. And then to the greatest shock, around 10 minutes before the end of the match, Cameroon scored 3 goals. And what happened was people started running back into the stadium. Can you imagine that? They were going home and they started running back into the stadium because they heard through other means that, Cameroon is actually has equalized. Like, what is going on? See? That's how trends are. The people that were in the stadiums applauding you, the moment you were not meeting their expectations, they abandoned you. But you see, but the players have to stay focused on why they came for that game.
Yeah, true.
Right?
They didn't
And
they
just
didn't
and just
they
do
didn't
what
give
I had to
up. They
do.
fought till the
They
end.
didn't give up. It was such a huge lesson for me. You see, people always come to you when you're succeeding. They won't come to you when you're failing.
Oh, say that again.
You see, people always come to you when you're succeeding, but they won't come to you when you're failing. And so do not base your success in life, or do not base your fulfillment on your successes or on your failures.
Oh,
Don't base it on these two things. Because sometimes you might feel like, oh no, okay, don't base maybe focus on your successes
yep.
and then forget your failure. No, don't focus on the success, neither should you focus on the failures. Focus on you.
Wow.
Right? Focus on doing you. Do what you really are passionate about. If you succeed, yes, you have fans raving you. If you fail, you have people criticizing you, but it doesn't matter. Just focus. Just do what you're doing. Because your fulfillment is not in the success or in the failure. Your fulfillment is that you actually did what you were passionate about. You lived out your true self. That's what I mean by success. I did what I wanted to do. Whether it came out the way everybody wanted it to come out or not, it's not important. It's just that I did what I wanted to do. I did what I actually lived my life. I did what I really wanted to do.
So right? You're amazing. You really
20 years to come, people might say, oh, he succeeded. Some might say he failed. It doesn't matter. In fact, every time in life you do something, somebody will say that you succeeded, somebody will say that you failed. In the same thing.
Oh.
Well, it's just amazing. I mean, this call was very interesting because I was learning lots of lessons throughout. Yeah. I mean, on the day that, for example, lots of people were criticizing Cameroon for obvious reasons. They had their reasons. But sometimes even when Cameroon was winning, people were saying that they were winning because they were favored. There was this or that. Yeah. And then when they lost, how you see this, you're a poor team, you're a terrible team, you can't play. That's why. So when they win, it's because they were favored. Now when they lose, because they're a poor team. When will you ever give them credit for anything?
Yeah.
But that's the point. You just have to be passionate about what you're doing. Because even when you're succeeding, people still say that it's not because of anything.
Please take us away. Okay. I was asking that. Please take us away back. How was it like growing up in Cameroon? For someone who's never been to Cameroon, tell us.
Well, I don't know about. I mean, growing up in Cameroon as a kid, I grew up in a place called Lobe. That's where I was born. Okay. It's in the southwest region of Cameroon. It's a little plantation. In fact, it's like a little village. That's where I was born. It was in a camp. Like we live in this camp where we had this. I don't know. When I was in Africa, I noticed that they have this thing with where you have people living like in a kind of a camp where. If you're walking in the vine, like in your, I don't know, I'm trying to remember the words, but we live in a camp where we had this plantation where the workers live in a camp. So you stay in the camp and then you work in the farm. So that's where I was born. My father was working in that area. So we live what we used to call a camp life, where it's like a little community that it is also rotated around the company that owns the whole of that facility, the whole of that place. So it's just a little camp life. It was very simple. There was nothing. We're not too exposed to the external world, but it was nice. I mean, we played games with our bare hands. We never had video games and all of that.
Yeah.
And we never had TV, so we spend the night outside and enjoy the moonlight and play with the moonlight because you couldn't stay in the house and watch anything. So, which was fun. It was so nice. Life was very natural then,
Yeah.
So, and they're very creative. So, growing up as a kid, that was my life. I was, in some cases, I'll say it was poor, but I would say it wasn't. It was a very rich life because we tend to define riches as material things, but it was a very rich life because you could connect with people at a very intimate level.
Yeah.
And growing up as a kid, that was my life. Growing up in the camp, but by the time I began my secondary school, well, that's when I had to leave the little village where I was born and grown up, and started going to the town to study and all of that. And then that's when we began seeing the bit of town life and all the bit of modernity that had come into the town and all of that. So, but the simple things always remain the most essential for me, you see. So it remains the most essential. So, I mean, growing as a kid, that was my life. My parents were good. They did your best to send me to the best schools they could afford then. And it was very helpful for me. I'm actually the last in my family. We are 6 of us in the family, and I'm the last. So I have like 5 senior people. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Most of them are across the world. So one is in UK, one is in the US, and some of them are still in Cameroon. So that's the family in which I grew up. So
okay, that's good. What's your dream for Africa?
Oh, wow, my dream for Africa. Africa is such a blessed and rich continent that it's some, first of all, it's sometimes a pain to see how much we have and how much we don't, and how much we want to appreciate of what we have. My dream for Africa is just that we will really, really, really be the beacon of hope for this world in terms of prosperity and wholeness. One of the things that I realized is that comparing Africa to the rest of the world, like the Western world, you go to the Western world, there's lots of development, lots of infrastructure, but sometimes we lose the soul of life. We lose the communal vibrancy of life, and Africa still has that.
Yeah, that's true.
Still has a lot of that. My dream is that Africa would carry that into its modernization. They won't lose that.
Oh,
yes, yeah. Become a modern Africa, but that still has its beautiful traditional values. That made Africa, that made it unique. Yeah, you see, that's really my dream for Africa. That it will be like an age in a paradise where you still have all of nature well preserved, but in a modern, advanced society with culture, with values, and with everything that you can imagine. You see, I think Africa has a chance to do modernity in a different way than the Western world did.
Yeah. If you were to send one message to African leaders, what would that be?
I will tell them, be a leader.
Oh. Okay.
Why do I say that? Well, I would say be a leader because we have many Africans in leadership positions, but they are not leading.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why it's a bit of irony to say, what would I say to African leaders?
Yeah.
Because the African leaders are not necessarily the ones in the leadership position.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I will speak to those in the leadership positions to be leaders. Because there are lots of leaders in Africa, but they are not leadership positions. People like yourself. People like yourself, you're a leader. You're doing what leaders do. They are there to inspire people. They are there to empower people.
Yeah.
That's what leaders do. You don't need a position to do that.
Very true.
Your position is you. Wherever you are, be a leader. But if by chance you're put in a place of authority over a nation, over a country, over an institution of government, do not lose the leader in you because of the position.
What kind of advice would you give to that little boy who's struggling, who's having tough time fitting in, who actually lost hope, who doesn't know what to do anymore, people doesn't believe in him? What kind of message would you give to that boy?
For a young man that is struggling and that people don't believe in him, I'll say this. Number one, you are not an accident.
Oh.
Number two, everything you are going through is preparing you for who you are becoming. Yes. So that's what I'll tell you. I'm not saying that your circumstances are easy. I'm just saying that those same circumstances are what is preparing you for the glory that is ahead of you.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
change the way you see your circumstance, and the circumstance itself will begin to change.
Yeah. That's
what I'll tell them. I said, yeah, life is not going to be easy. Things are going to be hard. I'm not going to promise you that things are going to be easy. I'm just going to tell you that as that young person struggling, use that as the building blocks for your future. Yes, that's all.
That's true. That's actually true. Who are you inspired by?
Oh, what am I inspired by? Oh, my first inspiration comes from God.
Yeah.
That's where I received my inspiration. But for people in the world, I mean, I draw a lot of inspiration from public figures. Well, public figures because they are public, so we see them every day. So, I mean, recently, Cameroon elected its new FA president, Samuel Eto'o, who is the head of. I mean, it was such a breath of fresh air in Cameroon. Like, wow, this is inspiring. We've not had this in Cameroon for a long time. So it became like, wow, young people taking initiative and just inspiring. Yeah, he kind of inspired me. That's like a recent one. I mean, the way he led the national team and the Football Federation has really inspired me and many Cameroonians. I mean, people have been so inspired by his leadership. He's present, he's being a leader. So he's not the positional leaders that we have in most parts of Africa, just in their offices and just give instructions. He's there on the field, he's hugging, he's consoling, he's helping. He really inspired me as the president of the Football Federation of Cameroon. He's really been an inspiration. Yeah, I really do. I'm inspired by him. Yeah, lots of other people that I'm inspired by. Worldwide, but I want to look at those that are around me because they're people I can. So some of them you might not know them because they are not public figures. So but lots of people that inspire me are not necessarily public figures. There are those that are around me that I see what they do. Yes. For the big public figures, they are inspiration. Yeah, because they are there, they are doing wonderful things. But I like to focus my inspiration on people I see around me. Yes, because I actually learn more from those people than the big public figures. Because I don't know the big public figure, I don't know their life. I don't know. I only know them because of their successes. I don't have a big.
That's true.
Unless I read their stories, then I can know a bit of their journey. Then that's where I begin to love them. I'll begin to get inspiration from them. I remember when I was in South Africa in 2019. I went to the Nelson Mandela's prison. The one from where he released. And we tour there. I've forgotten the name of that prison. Maybe I'm sure you know.
Robben Island.
No, not Robben Island. The one, not the one, the island. The one. It's the Western Cape there. I've forgotten.
From that's where he resided after Robben Island.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember the name.
Okay, so that's where I was, and I heard it. I had a tour guide that was sharing his story, and I was so inspired when I listened to the kind of person he was. Everybody's inspired by Mandela for who he is, his public nature. But when I heard someone share some like personal, intimate things about the way he related with people in the midst of all, that was really my bigger inspiration from like, wow, you see. These are the kind of thing that inspire me when I get to know the little intricacies about a person's life, like some little simple things that he did. I'm like, wow, this is the man. This is a man that everybody's hailing. So that made him one of my great inspirations as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Where would you like to see yourself in the next 5 years or 10?
Oh, wow. In the next 5, 10 years, one of the things I really want to do, which I never thought I would love to do, is to travel a bit more.
Okay.
I just want to travel. I feel like I should travel a bit more, just to get to know places and know people more. Yeah, because when I was in South Africa in 2019, that was the first time I actually traveled out of my country, because I had been that kind of person that did not want to go anywhere. I was like, I'm in Cameroon, I'm not going anywhere, nothing out there.
Yeah.
When I traveled, it changed my mind, because I was like, oh, there are lots of wonderful people around there. And not only is it an opportunity to get to know people and learn lots of things, but it's an opportunity for me to share who I am to the world.
Yeah.
So in the next 5, 10 years, I want to be able to just travel around a bit more, not relocate to anywhere, but just travel, spend.
Yeah.
So I want to visit South Africa again and get to meet some of the people I met, and I just get to know them and see how life has been, especially after COVID, because before COVID and after COVID, it's like life has taken a totally different turn.
Very true.
Yes, so I just want to get to go to different countries, meet different people, and just get to know how life looks like in those different areas. That's just my desire. Okay. Yeah, there are lots of other things I would like to do in the next 5 to 10 years. Lots of things. I want to publish more books. I want to have my consultancy grow and be all of that. Yeah, those ones are important, but just being able to do life with people in the midst of all of that.
Yeah. Okay.
What I'm really looking forward to. Yes. So
what are some of the lessons that you've learned in life?
One of the lessons I've learned in life is that wow, let me think about that. One of the lessons I've learned in life personally is that when you are passionate about something, right? When you're really, really passionate about something, and it is something that is really, that beats in your heart, don't let it go. Oh. Don't let it go.
Oh. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, don't let it go. Because in the end, no matter what else you do, if you don't do that one thing, you will regret it in the end.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. How do you deal? Okay. How do you deal with criticism?
How do I deal with criticism? That's an interesting one. You know, I have a certain mindset when it comes to criticism. Yeah. Number one, you can either open yourself to receive feedback, or you can close yourself to receive feedback and then receive criticism.
Say that again.
I said you can either open up to feedback, or you can close up to feedback and then receive feedback as criticism. So what that means is that I like to be in a position where I'm opening myself to feedback. Okay. So like always trying to get feedback about how you're doing, what's happening, where you're doing things well and where you're not doing things right. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't open yourself up to that, you're going to receive feedback as criticism. Mm-hmm. So why am I saying that? Because it's partly because of my own life experience. I realized that when I wasn't open to feedback, I started seeing everything as a criticism, as I started seeing every criticism like an attack. Yeah. But then when I open myself to feedback, I don't get lots of criticisms, because before the criticism comes, I had already received it as a good feedback.
Oh, okay.
So for example, if if I'm doing something, or I'm doing some work, or I'm working like where I work. So sometimes I'll just make sure I get to one or two people that are around me and say, can you give me feedback about how I'm doing? Where am I doing well and where am I not doing well? What do I need to improve? Okay. And most times they're very generous to tell you that. But if you don't ask them, they might probably see you doing something negative and they will not say anything about it until the day they really get fed up about it, and they just give you a critique. Okay. And they were like, why that was too harsh, but you know, from the feedback.
Yeah.
And this is so important, especially for us as African leaders, because in our African culture, we don't like feedback.
Very true.
So that's what we were talking about leaders before. When people start complaining about things, oh, we don't like this, oh, you guys are, they see you like opponents, they see you, they start locking you up and stuff like that because we are not open to feedback. So I see criticisms as a form of feedback.
Oh.
And why sometimes it might hurt, but in most times it will help.
Very true.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your books, the books that you've written.
Oh yeah. The first book I wrote, it was published in 2006.
Okay.
It's titled, 2016. It's titled Dreams to Realities.
Okay.
Dreams. It's a book about how to pursue your dreams.
Can we get it online?
Yes, you can get it on. You can get it online. The ebook is available on Amazon. You can get it online. I can send you a link of where you can get the book.
Okay.
It's called Dreams to Realities. Yeah. It teaches about the steps you need to take from inception on how dreams come about, and then how you process the dream. Basically, I'm talking about 3 phases: how you see with the dream, how you walk with the dream, and how you run with the dream. So that's actually how the book is structured. Then my second book was actually published last year. Okay. It's titled Marketplace Shift. This is a book about Christian, how you can become a minister in your workplace. Okay. As I was saying before, how you can become a pastor or whatever, how you can take your own place. So I don't know, I can actually show you a copy of them. They're somewhere around. Okay. Yes. So yeah, let me get them and show you. Sure. Okay, so this is the first book. I hope you can see it. Yeah, I can. Yeah, Dreams to Realities. Yeah. So my first book I was published in 2016. And then this is the second one. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's called Marketplace Shift. Yeah. Yeah. So you can order this also on Amazon, both in e-book format and hard copy format. And it'll be delivered to you whatever. So those are the 2 books I have that are available for purchase. Oh, okay. That's I will definitely check them out, and please send the link. Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to share with us that I didn't ask? Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for what you're doing. And I just want to say I'm so glad about what you're doing. I'm inspired by it. And the fact that you're open enough to reach out to people from all walks of life across the continent. Yeah. It's such an amazing thing. I mean, I was like, wow, this is strange. Who does that? Yeah. I like your energy. I like your passion. I can see that this is something you really love to do. And my encouragement just to do that and just be you. And for those who are watching, my encouragement would be like freedom. Be free to be who you are. Right? Yeah. So have the freedom to be you, right? Just like freedom is doing. I want to tell those watching, just have the freedom to be you. Right? Thank you. Yours might not be YouTube videos, yours might be something else, but we have the freedom to be you. And not many people have the opportunity to be in the situation where you are. So the least thing you can do to yourself is to be everything that you were created to be. Yeah. Because what the world needs is not more people who know how to do things. The world needs more people who have truly come alive. Oh. Yeah. So the world needs more people who have truly come alive. So please come alive. Be free to be who you are. Okay. Be free to be who you are. That's great. This is my last question. When
when it is all said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
Wow, I'll I would like to be remembered first by God as a friend of God.
Yeah.
And I would like to be remembered by everyone else as a friend,
Mm.
a father,
Mm.
and in fact, friend is the word, like somebody who was a friend, who was a dependable one, somebody you could count on, somebody who was always there to support people.
Yeah.
Yeah. In one word, love of people.
Okay, that's great. I really would like to host you again on the program, and thank you so much for your time. I truly, truly appreciate it. Like, I've learned a lot from this conversation, and I hope a lot of viewers are going to learn a lot, are gonna take a lot of you've like shared a lot, and I know
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was, I mean, this has taken a long while to happen. We are scheduled
Yes.
this, but it finally happened, and I'm happy. At some point, like with this, it wasn't going to happen because we scheduled so many times. But that's
Yes.
again, that's a picture of just pursuing what you really want to do. It'll
Yeah.
happen eventually. So thank you so much. I'm happy to be part of this show, and to all your viewers across the world in South Africa, have a wonderful 2022.
Thank you so much.